Today I'm here at the last day of the Gun Rights Policy Conference, and I'm here with Second Amendment activist and LGBTQ activist Erin Palette. And I'd like to thank you, first of all, for doing the interview, and also want to talk to you about your new project, Blazing Sword. Please tell my audience about your new project, why you're doing it, and what you hope to accomplish.
Blazing Sword started the Monday after the Pulse terrorist attack, where I saw a lot of gun owners saying on social media, if you're LGBTQ and want to learn how to defend yourself, let me know and I'll take you shooting and I'll pay for everything. And I thought this was a wonderful sentiment, but they didn't move in the LGBTQ circles that I did. And so I didn't think that the message would get out. And so I originally started a list of the gun owners who were offering this so that, because I'm a member of both circles, so that the LGBTQ community could see it. And that just exploded, and I was busy adding names to that list for over 12 hours.
Wow.
By the end of the evening, I had over 100 entries. I had an assistant, I had an interactive map. Here we are in the tail end of September, and Blazing Sword we're on our way to being a 501c3 tax-deductible charity. We're already a registered nonprofit in Florida, and we're working on being able to accept donations. And the point of Blazing Sword is exactly the same as what it was when my friends were offering. You have gun owners who historically, the media has said that they are white and straight and hate homosexuals. And we have that same media telling the LGBTQ who are liberals and, oh, they hate the gun owners. And the wonderful thing about this, and I wish I could say that I started it, I was just in the right place at the right time and I asked the right question, but I'm the figurehead now. The wonderful thing about this is that it is reaching across the political spectrum. And you have the stereotypical, it's not true, but the stereotype of the straight white male saying to the transgender lesbian, I don't care who you sleep with, I don't care what you have between your legs, I don't care how you dress. You have a fundamental right to self-defense, and you deserve to defend yourself in the most effective way possible. And so I'll reach across that political aisle and I'll teach you what I know, and I will pay for everything. And that's what Blazing Sword is. As much as I would like to help LGBTQ people arm themselves, that isn't the point of Blazing Sword. The point is education. I like to make the argument that we don't teach abstinence-only sex education, so why should we teach abstinence-only gun safety?
Right.
And so by removing the money barrier, and by removing the we really want to give you a gun barrier, we can be accused of selling to fear, but it's not true. We are giving education. And it is perfectly fine for an LGBTQ who is gun curious to go to one of these sessions, get the basics of gun safety and operation, and decide, I've tried it, it's not for me. And that's fine, because it's an informed decision.
Right.
On the other hand, after having gone shooting, they realize, this is for me. I need it for self-defense, or it's just fun. Then the gun owner volunteers can say, well, now I know where to send you. I can hook you up with trainers. You want to buy a gun? Let me go with you. I'll help you pick out a gun. You want to get a carry permit? No problem. I have one. I can help you through those steps. And so what I hope to do once I'm able to start receiving donations is I would like to start funding seminars where large groups of people can get training rather than just one-on-one. But again, it's all about education. It's finding out if guns are right for you, because historically the LGBTQ have been on the left because that's the side that was representing them politically in the 60s and 70s. And unfortunately that comes bundled with gun control.
Right.
And so Wow, I actually lost my train of thought there. That's so horrible.
No, you're doing fine. So explain that a little bit, because, both people have the same idea of self-protection, right?
Right.
But maybe the LGBT community, because of their involvement with the left.
Yes, that's where I was going. Thank you. Because, I don't want to say they bought into the ideology, but just the culture is anti-gun, and that's just how they have lived. And we're trying to get across to them that the two are not necessarily bundled. You can be gay positive, you can be LGBTQ, and you can be a gun owner. And the problem is that there's a stigma of gun ownership within the gun community. And coming out, and I use that term deliberately, if you come out as being a gun owner, there's that same stigma, just like coming out as being gay or trans can be to your more not so understanding friends. And so these people who are curious about guns really might not know who to go to. And so there's a bit of the freedom of the confessional, in that we have people who have said, I don't care who you sleep with, but other than that, they aren't known. So it's not like, well, I have to go justify to you, yes, I'm gay, but I want to have a gun because, and the trainers will go, no, it doesn't matter. The important point here, and if I leave you with only one thought, it's this. We cannot have, and I don't mean you and me, I mean the metaphorical we, left and right, cannot have any sort of meaningful dialogue unless we can both agree that our lives are worth defending. My life is valid, your life is valid, we deserve to keep on living, and we deserve to be able to defend them. And we do both agree on that, both sides. The problem is with the means. And hopefully by reaching out, we can show that the left, the stereotypical liberal LGBTQ, will understand that just because you own guns and are conservative doesn't mean you hate them. And as much as there is education going on regarding guns for the LGBTQ, the gun owners are actually getting an education as well about, well, that's what it's like to be this kind of person. And so education is going on both sides, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
No, I agree, and that's one of the reasons I want to talk to you, because I too saw all the instructors coming out and saying, I will teach you, we will teach you. And that's really the first step, is just trying it that one time so you're not afraid. And maybe you're right, like you said, you'll like it or you won't. How has the reception from both communities been towards this project so far?
Well, gun owners think it's a fantastic idea, because that's just the gun community. I don't know of any other hobby where you can go to a place where they're exercising that hobby and someone will say, oh, you like my very expensive piece of equipment? Here, go play with it.
Go try.
I mean, if you're into muscle cars or motorcycles, you may go and say, yeah, your machinery is beautiful, but they're not going to say, you want to take it for a ride?
No, never. You're right.
And so, yeah, these people are itching to help. The problem is, I'm having trouble, how do I put this? The gun owners are receptive. The LGBTQ community, not so much. And I know interest is there because people have come forward and we have had success stories. And we have had LGBTQ people who have successfully not just gone shooting, but have bought their own firearm and gotten a concealed carry permit. So,
wow.
Gee, if it saves just one life, where have we heard that before?
Right.
Well, hopefully now I have empowered 2, 3, however many people to save their own lives. But I'm having problems getting more students for the trainers. And that's the sort of thing that I think is only going to be solved by an infusion of cash. And once I'm able to start accepting donations, then I can start buying advertising space and getting into the communities where people are interested, but they're afraid to express the interest. And that's one of the wonderful things that happened here at the Gun Rights Policy Conference, because I have networked, I have made contacts and friends with people. For example, I met a lovely lady from Pink Pistols Fort Lauderdale, and Fort Lauderdale has a large LGBTQ community, and so she will know how to get my message to them.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, that's one of the great things about this conference, isn't it? The other thing I wanted to ask is, do you think that part of the reason for the hesitance by members of the left, of that community, is because they don't have all the facts about gun safety, gun control, gun law? As you know, being a Second Amendment activist, the left likes to blast out a lot of false statistics and lies, basically, about firearms and gun owners, etc. Do you think that's part of it?
Well, like I said before, they believe in abstinence-only firearm education. And so there is a lot of ignorance that we're having to combat. And when you don't know the truth about things, if someone from a position of authority says something, you're going to be inclined to believe them.
Correct.
Much like when we watch the news or when we watch our television programs and we go, no, guns don't work like that.
Right.
But then if we don't know anything about medicine and then the medical segment comes on, we go, oh, well, that sounds logical. Meanwhile, the doctors and nurses in the audience are saying, no, that's garbage. And so we need to teach so that informed decisions can be made. I'm not even going to say that they are fallen victim to lies. I'm going to say that they are ignorant. And the beautiful thing about ignorance is that it can be corrected. Just a little bit of education goes so far.
No, and that's true. I mean, you gave the perfect example, and I'm going to use that in the future, because you're right. If you don't know, but someone you think is an expert tells you, you're going to believe it. So that was a perfect example. I'd like to have you tell people where they can find you, where they can find out about the project, and anything else that you want to provide information of how to get in touch with you.
All right. Well, we have a Facebook page. I don't remember the address, but just get on Facebook and look up Blazing Sword. You'll find us. There is a button called Click to Use the App, and if you click on that from our Facebook page, that will take you to our interactive map. If you're having trouble finding that, you can go to pinkpistols.org, I think. I'm not entirely certain. And Pink Pistols is a sister organization, and they have hosted my map on their website as well. So if you go there on the left side, scroll down to the bottom, it should say LGBTQ trainers. Click on that. That'll take you to the map.
Excellent.
And so once you get to that map, you type in the name of your city or nearest large city and enter that, and you should get a pop-up of a pin that has at least one trainer and hopefully more. At this point, we have over 1,271, I think, as of last count, trainers. We have them in every single state. We have them in the United States Virgin Islands. And there's actually one in Edmonton, Canada. So we are technically international.
Wow, that's excellent. Thank you so much for talking to me about the project and everything that you're doing to help both communities, actually. And I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.